The minister is to stand down as an MP over personal safety fears after death threats and an arson attack. We're going to read into this more from Sky News, you guys. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Reganelite here. An article from Sky News with the headline that Mike Freer, minister, is to stand down as an MP over personal safety fears after death threats and an arson attack. The MP says there comes a point when the threats to your personal safety become too much, and he reveals that he and his staff have started wearing stab vests at scheduled public events in his constituency. Guys, while you're here, make sure you hit the like button and share across social media so other people are notified of this video. So, Mike Freer here, I covered a video at the time when his office was hit with an arson attack. He set it on fire. Luckily, nobody was hurt or worse, thank God as well. But the thing that really, I think it's very, very sad that, yes, I understand. I know people are going to look at this differently because this is a Conservative MP. But what really angers me is that this man feels that he has to step down and step away from politics now because not because in my opinion he comes across as someone who is taking advantage of the system or something like that. I don't know if he is or not. You guys can make your you can explain. You can say to yourselves in the comment section if Mike Freer is like that or not, and what he is responsible for and what not. You can make speculations or stories that you can link me in the comment section if he is a really bad MP. But one of the biggest arguments I'm going to be making here is that, and we talked about it then, and I'm going to remind people about this now. Yes, these are MPs that represent our constituencies, and while I understand that they may represent a political party that you may or may not agree with, there is a way to approach and deal. There's a way to deal and approach with MPs. And setting their office building on fire, making death threats to them and their families is an absolute no-no. You're not helping anyone. You're not making a difference. All you're doing is riling up hatred and anger, and you're driving away politicians, and you could also be driving away potentially good politicians as well. I look back to what happened to we've had a Conservative MP that was murdered a few years ago. We had obviously Miss Cox is a senior name as well, that was murdered, the Labour MP. MPs should be able to roam freely and not have to rely on security, or at least have security, having to wear stab vests and have these unnecessary securities because of their fears of their personnel, just because of who they are and where they represent. Now, obviously if they are in a higher echelons in government and a cabinet position, obviously that's a little bit different. It could be a bit more understandable if they have security, but especially if these are MPs on a lower threshold, they should not have to be fearful. Now, obviously, unfortunately, we have it in this day and age now that people think it is perfectly justifiable to have online attacks. One of the things that I see a lot of, as someone who uses Twitter a lot, and I really want to emphasize this because I want to talk about this, guys. Now, I use Twitter a lot, and I understand, a lot of you may or may not use Twitter. Now, the way I see, there are some people who I see who make reasonable, constructive criticisms against Conservative MPs, and rightly so, our politicians, on some of policies and whatnot that they come across. Then there's the ones who make the death threats and literally insult them or their looks or whatever. All these kinds of people. These are the kinds of people that need to be charged and need to be pursued for criminal, for basically you're threatening to kill somebody. Basically, you're making these horrible abuses. Just there is a way to engage with people, and this is not the way to do it. And whatever you might think of him, He's concerned about his well-being. And this is not Conservatives. This is Labour. This is Liberal Democrats. These are all politicians who have an extremely difficult job. I know the system is crap. I know we have a crap parliament system. I know we have a crap electoral system. I know it's rigged against us. I know that. I understand that point. And you don't need to exaggerate that point in the comments. If you want to, go right ahead. But I'm going to make it now before we read into it. I get that point. But that does not, in any way, shape or form, give you the right to make death threats, threaten their families, just because they implement a policy that we don't like, and we can say, as abhorrent as it is, whatever that policy may be, there is no justification for acting out in any way towards these people. None at all. Okay, there's no justification in it. Yeah? Because if you are making a justification that making death threats and setting their offices on fire is in any way justified, then you're pretty much a criminal. You are a criminal. Because there is no justification for that. No matter what. We have laws in this country. Yes. Are they perfect? No. Do they need changing? Yes. Of course they need changing. They need adjusting. But there's a way to deal with things. And this is no way of dealing with them. So a government minister who avoided being murdered by the skin of my teeth is stepping down as an MP at the next general election over fears of his personal safety. He could have died. He could have died. Mike Freer, Conservative MP for the North London constituency of Finchley and Golders Green, has faced a series of death threats and was targeted by Ali Harbi Ali, the man who stabbed Southend West MP Sir David Amess to death in 2021. So David Amess, that's the one. Just a few years ago, guys. That was as well. That was just a few years ago, and I remember when I remember that story. This was before I have a YouTube channel, and I remember people in the constituency, yeah, whatever you might think of him, people in that constituency, they admired and they respected him for what he did for that constituency. He was very well liked by many people that were spoken to in that constituency at the time of when it happened to him. There is no justification in any way for this, guys. None. The Justice Minister said the final straw was an arson attack on his constituency office in December. Yeah, this was it. Yeah, we talked about this. Yeah, this was in December. Why did he do it here? In an interview with the Daily Mail, there comes a point when the threats to your personal safety become too much. He and his staff, he said, have started wearing stab vests at scheduled public events in his constituency after learning that Ali had watched his Finchley office before killing Sir David at constituency surgery. Mr. Freer said, I was very lucky that actually on that day of Ali's attempted attack, I was due to be in Finchley. I happened to change my plans and came to Whitehall. If he hadn't changed his plans, he could have died. Otherwise, who knows what, whichever I would have been attacked or survived an attack, he came to Finchley to attack me. MP said he tried to make light of the threats, but it remained at the back of his mind that he could have been killed. And he should not have to have that on the back of his mind. No MP should. No MP should, guys. Mr. Freer that he also received threats from the group Muslims Against Crusades about coming to stab me and found mock Molotov cocktails on the office steps. The MP, who has pro-Israel views and represents a heavy Jewish constituency, said, I don't think we could divorce anti-Semitism from the intimidation. He has represented the seat which has won around 6,600 votes at the last general election since 2010 after holding off challenges from both the Liberal Democrats and Labour. Mr. Freer joins a series of MPs who have said they will be stepping down at the next election, which is expected later this year. Labour's candidacy in Finchley and Golders Green, Sarah Sackman, said she was shocked by the news, adding, we should have been able to face each other in the polls based on our ideas and merits. Instead, politics is now so skewed by violent language, hate and the danger of social media. The Tory former minister Sir Conor Burns tweeted, "Totally understandable decision. A drip of hate, not exclusively from people on the other side, and remorseful cynism will drive more people out of politics." And this is the other thing, guys. This is the thing. We want, like, generally, guys, we want good people to become politicians. Yeah. Is that not what we want? We want people who generally believe, who generally want to fight for better causes, for a better society for us. We want good people in politics, yeah? I know the system is crap, but just roll with me here, guys. We want good people in politics. When stories like this are happened, how are we supposed to encourage them to go in? Like, I think of Caroline Lucas as well, a great MP for Brighton and Albion, the Green MP, who's stepping down because I think the main reason is she feels that she's tired of it. and there was one MP from Scotland, one SMP I believe from Scotland. I can't remember her name, but she's given some powerful speeches in the House, and she's not going to be doing it either. And I just think, and I think about some one or two Labour MPs as well. Like, how long will they put up with it as well? It's really important that MPs are able to do their jobs. Again, like, I think obviously this case, and some of you guys will agree with me in the comments that obviously there's anti-Semitism around this because of his Jewish ties and that, and we're not going to go. I don't want to go into the Gaza situation because I've already expressed my feelings numerous times on them. If you want to check out other videos on that, you're more than welcome to. But doesn't in any way justify the actions in any way, shape, or form, guys. And I hope you guys generally agree with me in the comments about this. That he's not stepping down because of he's not stepping down because of one of the other MPs because of their pay. He's not stepping down because he doesn't want to do it. He's stepping down because he's worried about himself and he's worried about the well-being of his family. And it should not have to be that way for him or for any other MPs. And if we want good politicians, if we really want to make a difference in this country, we have to encourage good people to go into politics. You can't just have them sniping from the backgrounds, It's just not. You got to have people in there that are willing to do the work to make that difference. And it's a very difficult job to be an MP. I can't imagine what it's like to be an MP every day. I can't imagine for any of them. And it must be an incredibly difficult job for them to do. But unless you put yourself in there, unless you're actually there in their shoes, you won't know what it's like. And whatever you might think of his political views, he's still a human being with emotions and feelings just like the rest of us, guys. And it's terrible that he's leaving on this account and not because he's going to lose. Like, if he loses his seat at the general election, it would be in a different story, obviously, because he fought to try and keep his seat and he couldn't hold on to it. Yeah, in that way, rather than him walking away because of his concerns and safety, guys. But what do you guys think? Tell me what you guys honestly think about the well-being of MPs, of politicians, especially here in England, or maybe share some of your experiences and thoughts about politicians where you are in Scotland or Wales or perhaps elsewhere. Should politicians have to wear stab vests, for example? Should they have security with them? Let me know what you guys thoughts and feelings in the comment section down below on this one. If you can, hit the like button, be greatly appreciated. Share it across social media so other people are aware of this video, and hit the bell notification icon so you'll be notified when I upload another video. And if you want to financially support me in the work I do here, you can join my YouTube membership for as little as 99p. And you can also join my Patreon for exclusive content as well. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I hope to catch you all very, very soon.